Good morning, televiewers of my Media Prime Television, and thank you so much for joining us once again on the second edition of The Brief, live on this very channel, a program where we always get to dig several layers beneath the major headlines as captured by newspapers. On today's edition of the program, the newspapers are focusing on the arrest of media. We're talking about media owner Amugu Belinga, who has been named as one of the prime suspects in the killing of journalist Martine Zogo. He has spent his first night at the level of State Secretariat for National Defense over there in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon. He was picked up in the early hours of yesterday alongside some of his close aides and third wife. We shall dwell on that this morning and many other headlines as the newspapers are telling us this morning. Gwladys Bomotonguina is here with us this morning. Let's have the headlines in the French language newspapers. Bonjour Gwladys.
Bonjour Lasha, bonjour à vous. C'est un plaisir de vous retrouver pour cette autre édition de Débrief, votre édition bilingue de revue de presse sur ma Media Prime Télévision. Mesdames, Messieurs, à la une de l'information aujourd'hui, l'arrestation d'Amugu Belinga. Nous débutons donc effectivement avec le messager ce matin qui nous plonge dans l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo. L'anecdote d'un coup de filet, c'est le grand titre ce matin paru par le messager. Le patron du groupe et deux de ses proches collaborateurs interpellés et conduits au CED dans le cadre de l'enquête mixte chargée de faire la lumière sur l'assassinat du célèbre animateur. Les détails sont en page 3 du messager ce matin. En page 4, le journal nous parle de fiscalité. Réforme fiscale au Cameroun, les bonnes affaires du télépaiement, c'est dans cette édition du Messager. Nous restons toujours dans le Messager à sa page 10. Le journal nous amène dans le groupe Bolloré Afrique Logistique. La vérité sur les licenciements, c'est dans cette édition du Messager. À sa page 11, le journal nous parle d'infrastructures, équipements sportifs. Bell, le gardien de l'Office national, l'ancien portier des Lions indomptables, nommé par décret présidentiel du comité d'orientation. Mesdames, Messieurs, nous poursuivons avec le journal bleu, le journal Le Jour ce matin, qui parle lui aussi en grand titre de l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo. En grand titre, Amugu Belinga interpellé par la gendarmerie. Le PDG du groupe L'Anecdote a été conduit hier au groupement territorial du Fundi pour enquête. Les détails sont en page 2 du journal Le Jour ce matin. Sénatorial 2023, les candidats seront donc connus ce jour. Les détails sont en page 2 du journal Le Jour ce matin. Mesdames, Messieurs, nous poursuivons avec Émergence quotidien, lui aussi en grand titre, parle de l'arrestation d'Amugu Belinga. Amugu Belinga interpellé, c'est le grand titre ce matin paru par Émergence quotidien. Il a été appréhendé hier matin chez lui et conduit au CED dans le cadre de l'affaire Martinez Zogo. D'autres personnes aussi ont été arrêtées. Les détails sont en page 3 d'Émergence quotidien à ce matin. Inflation des prix sur le marché, la consommation est en hausse. C'est le titre paru ce matin par Émergence quotidien. Les détails sont en page 2 de cet article. Nous restons toujours dans Émergence quotidien à sa page 2. Il nous parle du service financier au Cameroun, l'activité en pleine croissance. C'est l'information ce matin que nous révèle Émergence quotidien. Nous continuons avec Mutation. Mutation quotidien ce matin, lui aussi en grand titre, parle de l'affaire Martinez Zogo. L'anecdote décapitée, c'est le grand titre ce matin. Le patron du groupe et trois de ses proches collaborateurs ont été interpellés hier et conduits au CED. Les détails sont en page 3 de Mutation quotidien à ce matin. En page 4, le journal nous amène à Mimboman, toujours dans la ville de Yaoundé, des écoliers en transe. C'est l'information que nous présente ce matin à Mutation quotidien. Nous clôturons avec la Nouvelle Expression. La Nouvelle Expression aussi, en grand titre, parle de l'arrestation de Amugu Belinga dans le cadre de l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo. Les détails sont en page 5 de la Nouvelle Expression ce matin. En page 3, le journal nous amène au pays Bamoun et Tika. La tension persiste. Nous restons toujours dans le même article, la Nouvelle Expression, pour parler de crise dans l'enseignement, comment comprendre le déclin de l'éducation. Les informations sont dans cet article de la Nouvelle Expression à sa page 2. En page 4, le journal nous parle de la hausse du prix du carburant vers une augmentation du prix du transport. Mesdames, Messieurs, voilà pour vos titres ce matin. En langue française, place à la découverte de ces titres en langue anglaise. Et c'est avec toi, Lasha.
Thank you, Gwladys Bomotonguina. Thank you to televiewers on My Media Prime for staying tuned. Let's kickstart this morning with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post is taking us to the State Secretariat for National Defense to talk about the arrest of Vision Card TV boss Amogu Belinga. Amogu Belinga was arrested yesterday for alleged involvement in the killing of journalist Martine Zogo. And of course, his close collaborator Bruno Bijang, private security chief, also picked up for questioning. Get full details in this edition of the said newspaper talking about the arrest of the media owner Amogu Belinga, who has been named as one of the prime suspects in the killing of Martine Zogo. We stay with the Guardian Post newspaper. We still talking killing of Martine Zogo. Suspect indicts regime barons in Reporters Without Borders report. Internationally or international non-profit organization governed by principles of democracy or democratic governance. Reporters Without Borders, widely known by its French abbreviation as RSF, has in an investigative report made startling revelations relating to the killing of Yaoundé-based radio journalist Martine Zogo. The paper is telling us that in a report released Friday, February 3, RSF quoted one of the suspects earlier arrested in connection to the case as having indicted some high-profile BR regime officials in the kidnap, torture, and brutal assassination of the Amplitude FM station manager. Full details in this edition of the said newspaper. Now, let's talk about the appointment of Joseph Antoine Bell by President Paul Biya yesterday. Biya appoints Antoine Bell chair of the National Sports Facilities and Equipment Board. Joseph Antoine Bell, who is a former Indomitable Lions goalkeeper, was appointed by President Paul Biya as the chairperson of the steering committee of the National Sports Facility and Equipment Board, known by the French acronym as ONE. Full details in this edition on page 12 of the Guardian Post newspaper. Let's talk about trade unions and the civil society organizations that are on government's throat over vexing national issues. Call for abolition of repressive sections of 2023 finance law, demand prosecution of embezzlers of AFCON and the COVID-19 funds, and also pressure government to recruit 100,000 youths to curb unemployment in the country. Also say country's education system out of touch with reality and needs overhaul. They equally decry rising insecurity, announce a strike beginning February 15, 2023 to run through March 15, 2023. We leave the Guardian Post newspaper. We are with the Horizon. The Horizon newspaper this morning is focusing on the senatorial elections 2023, why Northwest and Southwest chiefs should be barred from running for the elections. Get the reasons why the Northwest and Southwest chiefs should not take part in this election, as brought to us this morning by the Horizon newspaper. Full details on page 10 of this edition of the said newspaper. We continue with the Horizon newspaper, this time around to talk about what Martin Bangangele has said, the Delegate General for National Security, regarding the ID card or issuance of ID cards in Cameroon. The inability of Cameroonians to get the national ID card, which is the main maker of the Cameroon identity, may become a thing of the past. The Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bangangele, has announced that the production of ID cards will witness a rapid improvement soon. The police boss was speaking in Yaoundé Friday 27th of January 2023 as police officers promoted on the 31st of December 2022 received their new epaulets. Full details in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. And Horizon newspaper this morning is also interested in the transfer of Abdul Karim Ali and the call to Kondengi Maximum Security Prison. And this morning, the paper is telling us that despite Abdul Karim's wife's petition to Canadian government, the government of the Republic of Cameroon has moved Abdul Karim from the State Secretariat for National Defense to the Konige Maximum Security Prison. Abdul Karim, the activist, was arrested in Bamenda last August and taken to Yaoundé, as the paper tells us. Full details in this edition of the said newspaper. And of course, Municipal Updates newspaper is also interested in the killing of Martinez Zogo, this time around focusing on the arrest of Amugu Belinga, AIDS, and a lot more of people who were arrested recently, and they are currently being detained at the State Secretariat for National Defense over there in Yaoundé. And of course, Amugu Belinga has been named as one of the prime suspects in the killing of the said journalist. Government to get CFA 21 billion to boost Northwest-Southwest reconstruction plan. The revelation was made recently by the chair or the national coordinator for the reconstruction, the presidential plan for the reconstruction and development of the Northwest region of Cameroon. Senatorial election, Elecam to publish list of candidates today. Elections Cameroon will the first verdict will fall today as names of candidates coming from the 13 political parties to run for the said election will be published today in Yaoundé. Full details in this edition of Municipal Updates newspaper. Thank you so much, televiewers of My Media Prime, for watching these or the major headlines as we just read to you. But we have to continue with the discussions, and joining us this morning is Elvis Mbane, who is the Communications Secretary to the Popular Action Party. He's joining us from Yaoundé this morning. Elvis, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning, Gwladys. And of course, good morning to all the viewers of My Media. Permit me already start by confessing or complaining that the lines are not quite clear. So there are some breaks. I don't know if the technicians could be able to do something at that level. But if not, it is a pleasure for me to be hooked up with you this morning.
How is Yaoundé this morning?
Well, Yaoundé is, permit me say, is fine. We are all glued to all the media outlets to keep getting information as to the recent developments that are taking place within the country and, of course, within the capital city, Yaoundé.
When you got the news of the arrest of media owner and, of course, one who has been named as the prime suspect in the killing of journalist Martinez Zogo, what was your reaction as an individual before we talk about you wearing the cap of the Communication Secretary?
Well, like I said already, Mr. Lasha, I'm afraid I didn't get the question quite well. I have gotten you to talk about Martinez Zogo, so I suppose that your question is in line with the arrest of Amugu Belinga and his journalist Bruno Bijangou in relationship to the assassination of Martinez Zogo. Let me just tell you, as an individual, my viewpoint may not differ quite much from that of my political party, the Popular Action Party, because first and foremost, we have never been in support of any form of murder or killing or whatsoever thing. We have never been in support of any form of human torture, and worst of all, someone who simply did his job and revealed information that could be verified, at the end of which either he himself could be held accountable for some sort of defamation or not. But that individuals should take the laws into their hands and think that they can get human beings and torture and kill them. And in fact, in gruesome manner like we saw in the case of Martinez Zogo, I want to think that it is something that everybody has to condemn. And now coming back to the arrest of Mr. Amugu Belinga, who has been indicted as one of the prime suspects, or maybe perhaps the person who gave the go-ahead for Martinez to be killed. What I can only say for now is that we pray for once that the justice system in this country will be able to follow its due course right till the end, so that we Cameroonians actually see justice being done to Martinez Zogo, and perhaps it may be the beginning of many more cases that had been forgotten to be brought back to the table, so that we see what can be done, such that justice, each individual gets justice that is due to him.
Okay, individual gets justice that is due to him. Are you hopeful that other collaborators or other people were involved in the murder will be brought to book, not only Amogu Belinga if he is found guilty.
Can you just ask the question again, please?
I'm asking that, like many other Cameroonians, do you have the impression that other suspects will be arrested?
That is a very difficult question to answer right now, viewing the fact that the justice in Cameroon is not independent. If it were an independent institution, we could have hopes that, in fact, by now many more were supposed to have been arrested. But given that the justice system is not independent, we are skeptical still at that level. But you know, with the revelations that have been made so far, and with people like Belinga already picked up, I'm afraid that many more names that have been mentioned before will be reiterated, or some names that we have not even heard of will be mentioned maybe for the first time, and we can only keep our fingers crossed to hope that many more suspects will be arrested. And believe you me, I'm afraid that this Cameroon may even break a record this time around if justice has to go through successfully, because for this case concerning Martinez Zoga, I'm afraid hundreds of people may end up being arrested with this particular case, because when we get some of the first revelations that have been made already with some of the people arrested, you get names of personalities who are sitting in high places in this country. And I'm afraid that some of the Martinez's case may link to other cases that we have had in this country before, but that were never settled. So, like I keep insisting, our justice system is not one that we can trust for now. So we cannot go jubilating over anything as of now. We just pray that for once, if justice will be able to follow its course as it is due, then believe me, many more persons and personalities in this country are going to be picked up.
Evis, the very first suspect that was arrested had to do with the head of intelligence service of the country. We are talking about the guy heading the Directorate General of External Research, who gave the revelation. As per the report of Reporters Without Borders, so many state officials are involved. It is a state crime as per what the independent reports published by Reporters Without Borders.
Mr. Lasha, I will keep saying that I am answering your question just because of what I try to imagine, because I don't get it all clear. But believe me, one unfortunate thing about Cameroon and Cameroonians is that we don't generally believe information when it comes from our own brothers and sisters, because even before Reporters Without Borders made out their report, we have whistleblowers who are of Cameroonian origin who had given information and cited names even, you see, but people did not take it serious, not until it came from a foreign media outlet. Maybe for once they are going to get it serious, maybe for once they will use it as a medium to maybe push forth the investigation. But talking about the state institutions where we find their leaders or their heads involved in this particular crime, you will understand simply that we are in some sort of a banana republic where a group of people have taken the state as a private plantation of theirs and they manage it the way it pleases them. Because it is out of question that people take taxpayers' money, with taxpayers' money which is used to equip and pay them to guard the lives and property of the civilians, and it is this same institution and its resources that is being used to torture and maim the same civilians. It is out of question, and I want to think that such persons who were supposed to be exemplary figures in the society are supposed to be dealt with according to what the law stipulates. I think for once, like I say, if the justice system is going to be clear and fair in this situation, these people should be used as an example for others to see, so that when next others who are going to occupy such offices, when they come in, they should know that when you are given a public office, it is to serve the people and...
Okay. We lost Elvis there, Gwladys. Quite unfortunate. He was trying to, elaborate on the point that this will serve as an example for those that are giving public office, to know that when they go there, they are to serve the population, not to, loot state fortune with impunity.
À ce niveau-ci, on ne peut pas parler uniquement des personnes qui occupent des postes de responsabilité ou des fonctionnaires de l'État du Cameroun, parce que, à moins que je me trompe, Amogu Belinga n'est pas un fonctionnaire d'État. C'est un homme d'affaires, c'est un businessman.
But it's as if it's a group. It's a group.
Alors, à ce niveau-ci, on ne peut pas parler uniquement des
but how
gens
was
qui
he
vont
able?
servir
How was
la
he
nation.
able to be benefiting, you know, I mean, monies from budgetary lines without necessarily working for the government or being a minister. How was that possible?
En tant que journaliste aussi, c'est la même question que je me suis toujours posée, tout le temps posée. Comment est-ce que Amougou Belling a fait pour avoir bénéficié d'autant d'accompagnement de l'État du Cameroun? Parce qu'en même temps, il n'est pas le seul directeur, il n'est pas le seul PDG de médias au Cameroun.
Mais
il faut qu'on le dise.
Il y a une information qui disait qu'il était accompagné par l'État parce qu'il a acheté un média hors du pays, Télé Sud, il faisait fierté du Cameroun.
Peu importe, il y a aussi les hommes d'affaires qui ont les médias au Cameroun, sont aussi des grands hommes d'affaires qui ont investi aussi hors du pays. Ils méritent aussi d'être accompagnés. Alors la question ici, c'est pourquoi est-ce qu'eux, ils n'étaient pas accompagnés et il n'y a que Amougou Belling qui était accompagné.
There's also the guy of Vox Africa.
La question ici, c'est comment et pourquoi il n'y a que lui en tant que PDG de médias qui est accompagné par l'État du Cameroun. C'est la question à se poser ici et à répondre. Parce que nous tous, on veut comprendre pourquoi. C'est une question qui nous a toujours étonnés, essoufflés, mais on n'a jamais pu trouver une réponse à cela. Et aujourd'hui, avec le cas Martinez-Zogo et tout ce qui est en train de sortir, on arrive aujourd'hui à comprendre le pourquoi du comment. Alors aujourd'hui, Lasha Kinsley, on ne va pas rester uniquement sur l'affaire Martinez-Zogo, sur l'assassinat de Martinez-Zogo, parce que lorsqu'on regarde bien attentivement tout ce qui est en train de se passer, on se rend compte que l'assassinat de Martinez-Zogo n'est que la tête de l'iceberg, en fait. N'est que la tête de l'iceberg, parce qu'il y a le fond même qui est tellement énorme et qui est en train d'être révélé. Et au jour d'aujourd'hui, on se pose la question de savoir est-ce que l'État du Cameroun sera capable d'exposer effectivement ce gros noyau-là qui est en bas, qui a carrément pourri la nation camerounaise, qui a carrément pourri l'identité de la nation camerounaise, parce que, je le répète et je le réitère, l'assassinat de Martinez-Zogo n'est que la tête de l'iceberg.
You are talking about state to expose these people.
Oui.
And there is an institution of state that is supposed to protect the citizens. And the officials of that set institutions are the ones that were used in the process, as reviewed by the report of Reporters Without Borders.
Effectivement, on parle ici.
How is it possible for state?
C'est possible.
Probably you should have been talking about President Paul Biya.
Non, on ne peut pas parler uniquement du président, du chef de l'État, parce que
he's the one that ordered for the investigation.
Mais les institutions, il y a cette institution, mais il doit aussi avoir d'autres institutions qui sont au-dessus de cette institution, ou alors il y a des personnes dans cette institution qui sont encore de bonne moralité. Vous n'allez pas me dire que dans cette institution, tout le monde est de mauvaise moralité. Non, il y a encore des gens dans cette institution qui sont de bonne moralité et qui doivent travailler et s'assurer que la vérité
J'ai dit n'importe quoi. J'ai dit n'importe quoi. Par exemple, le ministre de la Justice.
Oui.
Peut-être c'est lui qui doit veiller que l'investigation soit... Et maintenant, il trouve peut-être son ami qui est impliqué. Est-ce qu'il va exposer son ami?
Ici, à ce niveau-ci...
Si la pression ne vient pas du président Paul Biya, est-ce que il peut faire? Je dis n'importe quoi.
Nul n'est au-dessus de la loi. Et je pense que le temps est arrivé pour ces personnes qui ont pris en otage le Cameroun d'être exposées. Parce que les Camerounais étouffent. Les Camerounais, les pleurs des Camerounais sont arrivés au paroxysme. Et on est arrivé au niveau où les responsables de cette machination, de cette torture des Camerounais doivent être exposés. Alors qu'il pleuve, qu'il neige ou qu'il vente, ils seront exposés. Parce que c'est le temps. Il y a une seule chose qui est vraie, c'est que le changement, il arrive toujours. Alors c'est le temps du changement et ils vont devoir répondre de leurs actions et de leurs actes. La vérité dans toute cette histoire, c'est que ils n'ont pas su que l'assassinat de Martinez-Zogo était... comment je vais dire, une goutte de trop dans cette tasse-là qui devait exposer tout l'iceberg. Oui, ils ne se sont pas rendus compte en fait. Ils se sont dit, c'est quelque chose qui va juste passer comme ça. Mais la manière avec laquelle ils ont assassiné Martinez Zogo, c'est ça en fait qui heurte les Camerounais aujourd'hui. C'est ça qui offusque la population camerounaise aujourd'hui. C'était carrément inhumain. Inhumain. On peut même pas mesurer en fait ce qu'ils ont fait. On peut pas mesurer. S'ils ont pu faire ça à quelqu'un qui parle et qui est connu et qui est vu de la population de partout, à combien plus forte raison des personnes qui ne sont pas connues.
I'm told by my technician that you are back. I hope you must have been following what Gwladys is saying. Before the line went off, you were trying to talk about those that are supposed to, you know, carry out the investigation. I was asking you about the institution that was used, the officials of certain institution that was used in carrying out the killing of Martinez Zogo. Elvis?
Your question again, well, please. You said the officials?
The officials of an institution that is supposed to protect Cameroonians was used in yes, was used in the assassination or the killing of Martinez Zogo.
Well, I think that is just the question I was answering before.
Right on. Oh, he's gone again, hoping that he's back. Are you there, Elvis? Sorry about that. The lines are not the best this morning, Gwladys, Bomotonguina. Now, let's talk about the hope for the population now. Is there any hope? This, I mean, it planted a lot of frustration and fear in the local population that an institution that is supposed to protect Cameroonians is the institution that was used by these people, this cabal, to commit the crime that they committed against the Cameroonian people. Because killing that journalist who brought out information regarding how taxpayers' money were being used is crime against Cameroonian, the Cameroonian people.
Lasha Kinsley, je réitère mes propos. Dans cette organisation qui est censée protéger la population et que certains membres ont été utilisés peut-être pour l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo, dans cette même organisation, il y a encore des personnes intègres. Alors, il faut que ces personnes intègres-là se chargent de faire en sorte que ces personnes qui ont les mains mouillées soient exposées. Parce que au jour d'aujourd'hui, Lasha Kinsley, il y a tellement de choses qu'on écoute, tellement de personnes qui parlent, qui révèlent des choses par rapport en relation avec ce que Martinez Zogo essayait de révéler et qui peut-être a conduit à son assassinat aujourd'hui. Et au jour d'aujourd'hui, on se pose la question de savoir, est-ce que ces personnes-là, effectivement, ne sont pas les auteurs de la souffrance économique des Camerounais aujourd'hui? Est-ce que ce ne sont pas eux qui sont derrière le fait que les Camerounais n'arrivent même plus à manger au Cameroun? Est-ce que ce ne sont pas eux? Alors aujourd'hui, au jour d'aujourd'hui, la moindre des choses que les Camerounais demandent, c'est la justice. La justice et la justice. Que ces personnes-là soient interpellées, que ces personnes-là répondent de leurs actes. Peut-être on ne pourra pas récupérer tout l'argent qui a été pris. Peut-être qu'on ne pourra pas, je ne sais pas quoi, penser toutes les blessures des Camerounais aujourd'hui. Mais le simple fait que ces personnes soient arrêtées, jugés et condamnés pour leurs actes va amener les Camerounais à comprendre qu'aujourd'hui...
It's only investigations ongoing. It is a competent court. Judicial process has not even been opened yet. This is just preliminary investigations that is ongoing. They have been detained as per the order of President Paul Biya that these people... Elements should be searched, their mobile device and what are their homes. Yes, should be searched. If they find enough elements against them that warrants a judicial process will be open, they will do that, and that will be the competence of a state council or magistrate to do that.
Ce sont des suspects et ils ne sont pas que des seuls dans cette affaire, parce que le grand titre d'un média hier disait que c'est un coup d'État. Lasha Kinsley, on a véritablement l'impression d'avoir en face de nous un coup d'État. Parce que si des gens se regroupent pour décider de comment est-ce que les finances de tout un pays doivent être gérées, de comment est-ce que les populations doivent vivre, de ce par quoi les populations doivent passer, on a en face de nous, effectivement, un coup d'État
contre le
président
Pobia.
Un coup d'État contre la population camerounaise, un coup d'État, parce qu'au jour d'aujourd'hui, si la population se lève...
C'est le même président Pobia qui a nommé tous ces gens-là.
Si la population aujourd'hui se lève, la population va se lever contre le chef de l'État. Oui, parce que c'est lui qui les représente. C'est lui. C'est lui qui a le mandat de la population. Ce ne sont pas ses collaborateurs. C'est pas Mougou Belinga, je suis désolé. S'il est, entre guillemets, coupable. Non, ce n'est pas lui. C'est le chef de l'État. Alors aujourd'hui, si ces personnes se sont assises pour organiser, je ne sais pas moi trop quoi, un fiasco sur l'État du Cameroun, mais c'est contre qui? C'est contre les populations camerounaises en direction droite vers le chef de l'État. Il faut qu'on soit clair, il faut qu'on se dise la vérité. Quelle est leur intention en créant tout ce chaos autour de l'État du Cameroun? C'est quoi l'intention derrière?
Prendre le pouvoir.
Parce qu'au jour d'aujourd'hui, on peut dire que peut-être l'assassinat brutal de Martinez Zogo n'était que la tête de l'iceberg qui va nous révéler effectivement l'agenda caché de ce groupe. Oui, qui va nous révéler aujourd'hui l'agenda caché de ce groupe et qui peut-être va apporter un ouf de soulagement aux populations camerounaises. Parce que, il faut le dire, Lasha, les populations camerounaises...
Je suis que quelqu'un ne doit pas détourner l'ordre du président Pobia concernant ces investigations-là.
À ce niveau,
ce
n'est pas possible. À ce niveau-ci, ce n'est plus possible.
Le président Pobia is up and is
listening. Je dis qu'à ce niveau-ci, ce n'est plus possible. Ils savent déjà que ce n'est plus possible. Donc forcément, il y a des têtes qui vont tomber. Ils savent déjà, ils sont...
Les vraies têtes.
Ce qui est certain, c'est que les vraies têtes vont tomber.
Gwladys, I don't know if Elvis is back. We're having trouble this morning with our lines. I don't know. If Elvis is not back, maybe we plead with the technician to open the lines for some few televiewers who are calling my line directly. I cannot pick your calls here, please. Maybe the technicians will open the line for you to contribute rapidly before we end the program. We have basically 10-15 minutes to go, Gwladys. And the Reporters Without Borders report that cited some top regime barons. Apparently, those information, like Elvis earlier mentioned, had been revealed by some Cameroonian journalists who were not taken seriously until when this international media or these international journalists went on air to talk about that. Why is it that we are not always believing in our...
C'est pas qu'ils n'ont pas été pris au sérieux. Non. C'est pas qu'ils n'ont pas été pris au sérieux. Vous pensez que ce reporter sans frontières, il a eu ces informations de qui? Ce sont ces mêmes journalistes du Cameroun qui lui ont donné l'information. Mais la question à se poser, c'est pourquoi est-ce que les journalistes camerounais n'ont pas eux-mêmes pu publier cette information? C'est la question à se poser.
Tu sais que tu es en danger.
Voilà, on a donc répondu à la question. Pourquoi est-ce que sans frontières, Reporters sans frontières qui a apporté ces informations? C'est simplement parce que les journalistes au Cameroun ne peuvent pas le faire. On a vu simplement...
There's a caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Your name, where are you calling us from?
Yes, David in Moyoka.
Yes, how is Moyoka this morning?
No, fine. We're okay.
Okay.
I phoned yesterday a bit late. I had to contribute, but I was the last.
Yes, just go on.
So I need to inform people that it's very surprising to hear people say that they have increased salaries by 5.2.
Surprise?
In 1993, salaries were reduced by over 70%. And it has not been reinstated up to now. I've gone on retirement without it being reinstated. So why do you talk of an increase when we have not come back to where we were?
No, why are you talking about that? You're talking about the past, and you're talking of 70%. You wanted a corresponding increase of what was deducted many years ago.
They would have brought us back to the level before they talk of an increase. That's what I'm saying.
So you are working on deficit?
We are going to do something. We are going to retirement. We are going to retirement on deficit. So what up to do what?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for contributing.
Okay, all right.
The caller complaining about salaries that were added by 5.2%. That is sure we should not be talking about salary increment, as per what he is saying. Salaries were deducted by 70% many years ago. So if they are talking about addition, they should first of all step up to the 70% before they can talk of an increment in salary. Gwladys, thank you. Another caller. I don't know. Hello? No.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Your name, where you are calling us from?
Good morning. My name is Madame Caroline. I'm from Birmingham. I'm calling.
Yes, contribute, please. We don't have time.
Good morning. You know that the problem of killing journalists in this country is too much because there's no justice. Cameroon is not in the country of justice. Cameroon is having problems with the justice system. What of what I see? Just because I am Martin from the central province, that's why that is sitting on his own problem. We have people, journalists like Mimi Mayford that wanted to say the truth over this country, but they don't accept. So we know that our country is full of injustice.
But now this is the end to the injustice. This is the beginning of the end to the injustice. Don't you think so?
We know more about our country because our country is that of corruption and the bigger monkeys are there to eat the smaller ones. The bigger fish are there to eat the smaller fish. But I know that with what has happened on the Zogo, Martinez Zogo, which I think will come clear. Nature has proved itself now that the spirit of Martinez Zogo was not dead. He's still alive for this country.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you for calling.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Gwladys, you follow her.
Effectivement.
People are so bitter everywhere. That caller is calling from Bamenda. Is calling us from Bamenda.
Mais on peut voir la colère avec laquelle cette dame parle. Et on comprend que au jour d'aujourd'hui, les Camerounais en ont vraiment marre de cette injustice.
Is he saying that injustice, that this one is only being taken serious now because it has to do with somebody from the central region, which might not necessarily be
avant
right.
Martinez Zogo, il y a eu d'autres journalistes toujours de la région du centre qui ont été tués. Mais
Good
là
morning,
n'est pas...
Yes, good morning. Your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling from Bamenda.
How is Bamenda this morning?
Well, Bamenda is cool.
Okay. Contribute, please. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to say that this issue of Martinez Zogo can be likened to the Sarajevo incident where Archduke Francis Ferdinand was assassinated and led to the First World War. So I am thinking that as this man has been assassinated, it will be a similar situation where even all those other journalists that have been assassinated in cold blood, they will come to limelight.
They will
so
benefit.
This is not like a trigger. This is like a tinderbox that has just been lighted. So I feel that justice would prevail because of the assassination of Zogo, because so many people's health had to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for contributing. Yes, Gwladys, just finish what you were saying before we take the last 2 callers for the day.
Voilà, comme je disais tantôt, on peut voir avec la rage avec laquelle les Camerounais parlent de cette histoire de Martinez Zogo. Et je voudrais dire que ce n'est pas le seul journaliste qui a été tué, encore moins de la région du centre. Ici, on parle de quelqu'un qui était en train d'apporter des informations vraiment pointueuses sur la situation et la condition actuelle des Camerounais, parce que les Camerounais ont besoin de comprendre pourquoi est-ce qu'ils se sont retrouvés dans cette situation, dans cet état de choses de crise économique et même alimentaire au Cameroun en ce moment. Alors, et qui s'est retrouvé brutalement tué le lendemain.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Yeah, Mr. Lasha, good morning. This is Mr. Ngwa from Bomotonguina.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Ngwa. How is Mutengene?
Not bad, just that the lights have gone up.
Lights have gone off. Okay, we hope it will be reinstated. Just contribute your contributions. We are talking about the arrest of Amogu Belinga and a lot more this morning.
I know the can of worms have been pushed and it's open. And a lot of things were exposed. We just pray that the judicial system sits up because the international community is watching.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we are following you.
Yeah, that said, let me go to the 5.2% increase thing a bit. Please, I want to find out whether this thing affects only a certain class of workers. Because they are pensioners who have worked and are waiting.
No, when you are a pensioner, you are no longer a civil servant. You've retired now. So you are no longer
they all
taking...
go to the same market.
Eh?
They shop in the same market, in the same shops.
There's no difference. You are right, sir.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Thank you.
Effectivement, il marque un point là parce que en réalité, ce ne sont pas que les fonctionnaires qui vont marcher.
Mais
il y a les retraités qui vont marcher. Il y a les gens du secteur informel qui vont marcher.
Mais on a quand même augmenté le SMIC, non?
Quoi?
They have increased from 37 to 41,000 francs.
Lasha, est-ce que tu peux avoir un logement décent avec 40 000 francs à Douala? C'est impossible.
That's a question left for authorities.
Donc du coup, comme de plus forte raison, parler encore de ta nutrition dans cette asphyxie économique dans lequel ce groupe de personnes a plongé les Camerounais aujourd'hui. C'est carrément impossible. Carrément impossible.
That's it for today's edition of the program Televiewers on my Media Prime Television. Thank you so much for watching. And we are hoping to be back tomorrow for more on what the newspapers must have said in Cameroon. The program for today was produced for us by Christain Tebong, our usual producer. And of course, Gwladys Bomotonguina was here with me for the presentation, hoping that we'll be back tomorrow for more. Bye-bye for now.